Yo, it's Podcast Savage here. Anything that you hear that you might take from these segments, these episodes and whatnot, they might be uplifting, they might be triggering, they might be off the wall. Understand it's all out of love. I ain't here to offend nobody. I'm here to just live life, you know what I'm saying? If you can't get with that, get the fuck out of here. Enjoy the show though. This is the return of the Nocturnal Gems. Stuff happened. Had to rebrand. Had to come back with a different purpose. Had to show like we were stronger. We ready to rebrand, redesign, and rebuild. It's a model you should definitely follow. But no, I'm your host, the Podcast Savage. Matt here with another one. The question seems to be, where the fuck you been? It's been a very long time since we've been back in here in this realm. We here. But I'd just like to start out with saying, of course, thank you for all those supporters that have been around. Thank you for all those that know what's going on. Thank you for any prayers, any wishes that I've received over the time, over the course of not being here. Of course, thank the man above, of course, because that's the one person you gotta always thank, because that's the reason why you're here. And so it's just all purpose of, you know what I mean, just going through certain things and just conquering, you know what I mean, pushing through and becoming yourself. Makes sense. But answer your questions. Where have I been? Life has been lifing for me. Of course, you know, with every up in life, there comes a down. We talked about that before here. So my dad was diagnosed with cancer of the throat around maybe October. And from that day, it has been a non-stop course, trying to navigate, trying to figure out what's the plan, what's the move, where we're going to go with it, how we're going to go with it, but what he wants to do, what's best for him, all that. And so it's been a struggle, been a slight struggle, but there's light in every tunnel. For those that may know, that may not know, my dad isn't necessarily in the best health, like he never was since he's been up here and back in the state. As far as just being healthy for himself, as far as providing for himself, as far as just doing for himself. And it's funny because the thing is, at a point in time, my dad was able and stable, if that makes sense. When he was down in Florida, he was by himself. He wasn't with us. He wasn't with me nor my sister. And so it was up to him to kind of make sure he made everything and made ends meet for himself. Now, what was he doing? I don't know. And I can't tell you. I don't even think he could tell you, because it's the point of, first of all, my dad stroke. He had a couple strokes. He had amputated toes, and he's a functional alcoholic. Put all that in one, you see what you get. You'll get him. Yeah, so I'll give you a little backstory now. Around maybe 2017, maybe in 2016, my dad and we were tight. I kind of surfaced and sufficed phone calls being the way of our communication throughout the years growing up. And so it kind of became the regular thing. We would talk on the phone here, maybe for hours on bullshit. So I didn't really talk about too much. Just talking about some dumb shit that might be current at the time. And so it got to the point where it was about Christmas. No, maybe Thanksgiving. I ain't hear from him. And it's kind of alarming for me because, again, my dad's by himself. I don't know who my dad's with. I don't even know where my dad's living. I don't even know his living situation. I just know that he's in an apartment and he was just by himself, no family. My Uncle Frank, his best friend, had passed away by that time. So really, Dad was really dolo by himself. I ain't getting no call. I was getting updates. So apparently Dad had fallen, hit his head. He has a brain bleed. He has a hematoma. Just what the fuck? Ain't no way. I think the one day I actually finally talked to him, it was kind of real fate. It was weird. Either way, so we wound up bringing him up here maybe early next year. So we're talking 2017, maybe even 2018. We bring him up. So from that point on, it was kind of just like a battle, an uphill battle. If you know my dad's very stubborn, guilty sometimes. Very stubborn, very stuck in his ways, very much. If I ain't gotta do it, I'm not doing it type person. Or if it's easier for me, I'm gonna do it this way. And not to say that's wrong, but at the same time, if it's not beneficial for you, it's why keep doing it? And so that is the main struggle with that. But so you think about that 2016, that window all the way up to 2024. Dad had been in the hospital early on for delirium. He had been in there for surgeries with his foot with poor circulation. He's also been in there for syncope episodes because he used to pass out with my sister all the time. So dad had been kind of battling with that all the time. And so it got to a point. But my dad was like through this whole time, my dad was a smoker. My dad smokes Lucy's. He smokes the Lucy's, not L's. Like I'm saying, no THC, nothing like that. No, nothing like that. He smokes cigars, however you want to name it, menthol. There we go. And so he felt as though like he's been smoking that since like 14. 2024 came around, and that ended that. What happened was that day in 2024, I had to take my dad to the bank because we had to get something fixed up with his account. So I take it to the bank, but we also had a doctor's appointment because he had said he'd been having like this cough, this cold, I guess, and it just sounded like it was getting worse because it was kind of, and it sounded terrible. It sounded like he had like horrible mucus in his chest. So we just had to try to figure out what the fuck was going on. So we get a video appointment and we're on the phone with him, and so then um like we ride to the bank and everything like that. He's on the phone call, he's talking to him and everything like that. But he can't really talk too much. I'm not necessarily understanding why and all this stuff. So it's cool. We get to the bank, we get inside the bank. First of all, he's kind of winded, but that was normal for him because my dad, he doesn't necessarily do what he needs to do in his apartment as far as building his strength up in his legs. He just sits there in his wheelchair all day, not doing shit. Like I said, if it's easier for him, he'll do it that way. He don't necessarily challenge himself as he should. And that's been part of his problem. So that happens, and then next thing you know, like we're in the bank and he's talking about this thing on his neck. And so then I look, because like, so first of all, you're driving, he's on your right side if you're in the passenger seat. I don't see anything. In the bank, we're in there with the teller. He sits on my left, and I'm on his right. Big ass mass with it. Big ass mass. And it's a tumor. From that tumor, of course, doctor's like, no, I really want to see him in the office today. You should get him to the hospital today. Should not wait because of the mass of it. And so I'm out here talking to the manager. I'm not the manager. What did I think it's just was the manager. I'm talking to her, and like I'm kind of distraught because the woman's kind of like, yeah, her saying it's urgent for him to get in the hospital. I'm already like, oh shit, here we go. And it was just like, this ain't about to be good. I know for a fact he's about to be doing some time in the hospital. He's about to do some time, as we say, because he's not doing no criminal activity. He's just getting himself into the hospital. So we leave there, we go to the hospital. I'm there for a couple hours and everything like that. And then the ENT doc, he walks by a couple times throughout the night. And so then he actually sees it. He actually says, well, look, to be honest with you, to be straightforward to you, that's cancer. I'm like, oh shit. He's like, there's no other wrap around that one, And so from then on, it was, well, we have a couple options. We can do the trach and the feeding tube because he couldn't eat. He hadn't been eating anyway. Or we could do we could be doing the surgery, the surgical route. These are options that came up. I'm just kind of rushing through because I just wanted to give you the concept of where I live. And so they were saying that they were either they'll take the lymph nodes, the voice box, his tongue, and half his throat out, or they would have to go the radiation chemo route. You already know which route we were probably going to go. Now, the whole catch is the window they gave. The window was a couple of years to 5+ years. 5+ years for the big surgery, a couple years for the easier route. The chemo radiation route. We had to go to that route. And we only went that route because the thing is, like, we felt as though the surgical route would have put Dad in a situation where he's no longer himself. He's no longer looking like himself. He's no longer he would look like that commercial. We all know which one I'm talking about. And so it's just wild. So then we had to schedule his trach surgery, make sure he got a feeding tube. Which was kind of crazy because it's like you don't necessarily expect anybody to go in there like, yeah, I'm gonna get a trach today. No, but that was the option he had. And so with that came of course, anybody knows how to drink. Everybody knows that it's not the cleanest of things. It's not the prettiest of things. It is actually very disturbing at times. It is actually is very much a nuisance, not just for the person who has it, but again, mainly for the person who has it, but for the people that have to be around it. As you know, the trach is right here within your throat. It is your valve right here. So you think about that, and you think about somebody who's a heavy smoker, somebody who's been smoking since like they were 14. My dad is 66 this year, 14. So we talk about 50 plus years. And it's finally caught up to him. You know for a fact them lungs are covered, caked with the nicotine sensation, with everything that comes with smoking cigarettes. They're exhausted. I say you can hear it when he breathes, which also causes a lot of mucus buildup. So I'm not sure if there's an infection. I don't think there is. But either way, so he's coughing up a lot of secretion, a lot of mucus, nasty as shit. Nasty as a motherfucker. Either way, it's just the principle is like, that's just how shit goes. Yeah. What's been going on? So, I mean, well, hold on. Let's see, wrap this up. Well, with Dad, he's been doing his chemo, doing his radiation since about December, like late December, early January, maybe. And so it's a hindrance because I mean, like it kind of cramps your day up because like you're going back and forth to make sure he's getting to his appointments, make sure he's answering questions correctly because Dad will minimize things. And again, I'm very guilty of doing the same thing. You see where I get it honest, but it's just the principle is like that shit happens. It's just like we can't really play around with this one. Can't really be minimizing these things. We gotta actually be truthful on this note. Why? Because it's something that we really can't play with. For any wrong answer, they may look at it wrong, they may diagnose it wrong, handle it wrong. Answers, cures, solutions to certain situations. They may give you the wrong stuff, and next thing you know, you're back in the hospital, back in a bad situation. So we don't want to do that. So it's like I'm constantly making sure that he's answering the questions right, and make sure that he's doing everything he needs to do. But yeah, it takes its toll. You're doing radiation 5 days a week, chemo once a week. The chemo usually is like maybe around like 3 to 4 hours out the day. And so with that, it's been crazy. So he's been staying in his apartment. No, he's been staying at a facility that's been kind of doing the trach care, doing everything he needs to do. They also want to show him the rope so therefore he can do it himself when he's discharged from there, which is coming up soon. But he's handling it all pretty well. The mass is going down. And yeah, that's what I'm saying. Shout out to everybody who sent prayers, anybody who had any thoughts on their mind, any hopes that they sent me and my sister's way, my dad's way, my family's way to want speedy recovery. Now it's not even over once chemo and radiation are done, which will be next couple of weeks. It's not even done from there because the doctors have said that the real hill is afterwards. It's like they said, towards the end of chemo radiation, that's when patients tend to have the most problems, have the most pain, have the most changes. And so we're hoping that we can push through any storm that comes our way when it comes to him. So that's been that, which is kind of been keeping me away from doing so many shows nowadays. Well, that's the main thing. But the other thing is, I mean, of course, with the football season, like, so how did the football season end? How did it go? It went pretty well. We wound up finishing first within our conference. We wound up getting a trip down to nationals. From that point on, it's pretty wild, pretty crazy, pretty fast. Everything happened pretty fast, except that car ride. That car ride was long as shit. We took 2 vans down there full of and we had about I felt like 19, 20 kids. And so you do the math. You think about that. Wild as hell. Part-time annoying because it's like, it makes you want to really like choke some of the kids out. I didn't. I mean, I handled kids accordingly, but it definitely, it tested you. It tests you a lot. Square up with one of y'all by the end of this trip. But nah, we wound up, we placed 4th. We had lost our first game, won our second game, lost our third game, which gave us 4th. We were down there for a week. And so from then, it was a somber moment, very somber moment, but it was also a very truth-revealing moment too for me. Because like I said, like being down there, like you come across certain things that, you know what I mean, put stuff in a real good perspective for you. And perspective is a big thing that you got to have in life because the thing is, if you don't have it, you're never going to be thinking for your own. You're never going to think for yourself. You're always going to think for somebody else. You're always going to think for things that don't matter, but you matter at the end of the day. And so that comes with a lot. a lot of maturity, a lot of like patience for yourself that you need to give yourself. Because everybody deserves grace, and people think it's just like you got to give grace. Nah, you deserve grace too. You deserve to inherit into yourself with your grace. And don't let nobody ever change that about you. If you want to be a certain way, if you're a certain way, if you're a caring person, if you're a person that wants to go out there and you say you got this, or you say certain issues that come about yourself, but it's like you want to go change them. Or you want to do something about it, go do something about it. We can't just sit there and complain about certain things and then not try to fix it. That don't work. And so it's like definitely got to make sure that you invest into stuff that you need to do for you and be better for you. If not, nobody's going to want better for you but you. Nobody's going to see your true intentions. Nobody's going to know your heart. Nobody's going to know your purity. And don't let nobody ever, again, minimize, put you in the back seat when you don't deserve anything like that. So yeah, we wound up finishing fourth, came back, and like everything was again. It was just, it was like it was a business trip, of course, but it was just like crazy. But yeah, you learn some things. You learn how to strengthen yourself. You learn how to build character. Because let's say for every loss that you ever have, just know a win is on the way. Just know that you can make it through the next stage. Just know you can. You know what I mean? You're ready for anything that's similar to what you just went through. You're ready for it again, and it's not going to attack you this time. You're definitely going to tackle it. Trust and believe. And so it's definitely a great thing to do for yourself. So that was that. Football season ended. I mean, it's kind of putting, like, of course, with the chemo, that's kind of putting everything kind of on the back burner as far as coaching, because I'm not coaching now. I took the 707 season off just to kind of just give myself some time just to handle some of my own personal stuff and handle some things with, like, of course, with family, with dad, get some things done for my son. Because again, my son didn't go with me, unfortunately, and I wish he did, or I wish I would stay there. Either or, it was a week going for my kid, and it's like it sucks because like you miss your kid, you miss your own kid, somebody you can, you know what I'm saying, hold and kind of just cherish things you have to always do. When we talk about that, how much my kid mean to me. But yeah, definitely just took my time to do everything I need to do for me, and it's even got me to the point where I'm making music again. Which I know I've been producing, doing music. I don't rap, but I'm saying I'm doing music since 2020. So right before my son was born, I was on paternity leave, just doing music, making music, and my passion, it kind of came back between that. And then when the shows, incorporating the music into the shows. So like you'll hear certain songs, you'll hear certain like beats and stuff like that. Just know for a fact it's coming from your boy. Uh, to the point where it's like I'm definitely looking to launch with artists. I'm definitely trying to collaborate a lot more than what I have before. I'm trying to get that effort into there to make sure it's like, yo, what we finna do? And so I definitely want to make sure that it's like, if you're an artist, if you are interested in any type of music or anything like that, you want to hear something that I got, you can always listen to some of the shorts or stuff like that. Sometimes it might even be on the intros of the shows. Definitely come, like, hit me up, let me know what's up. You know what I mean? I'm down for it. I'm with all of it. I'm with all of it. I got it again. 6 years worth of music. It's definitely evolved. It's become even stronger than what it was. But at the same time, I'm always down to go back into the vault and fix what needs to be fixed. Push out what needs to be pushed out. If you like it, nigga, I got you. I'm trying to make stuff happen just as much as you try to make it happen. And that's the thing. It's like, it's all just about collaboration and making each other better. Because if you don't try to make nobody better, what the fuck is the point of you ever trying to come to somebody's table? Corny as shit. Like, I'm trying to pour into your cup, I'm trying to pour into mine. Simple as that. We trying to grow, we trying to build, trying to evolve, elevate, and have all the spectators out here just think they know what the fuck is going on, but they don't know shit going on. Feel me? And so those just things that's going on now. Of course, you know my kid's growing up, so he's good. He's spectacular. He's enjoying this year of kindergarten. Of course, you have those constant questions because he's about to be 6. And it's always like, why? Why this? Why that? This stage's crazy. This stage is wild. It's fun though. But yeah, definitely good times. Definitely good times. Yeah. So I mean, those are just things been going on. Those have been what's happening. But we definitely gonna be back more frequently here, coming to this realm here. I'll even have like, I wanna do a Cole album review. I wanna do shit. We could do a Kendrick one too, because again, he dropped that. And it's like, I didn't say do that one. So I mean, just believe that. And then also we can just like we can have sessions where we listen to my music. We listen to tracks that I've made. We can go through step by step as far as shit I do. Definitely have another special one coming up. It's gonna be pretty wild. I would never expect it at all, even in the slightest. But it's all because of the fact of the maturity of the evolution, the things that we've gone through, and we've grown and shown that it's like it's not as bad as it was before. I'm not going to spoil and say who's the guest. Understand, but there will be a guest on here. May actually be a good one. Everything's kind of mapping itself up. We just got to lock in on a date, and then we're going to execute that plan to fruition. But besides that, of course, with the network's growing. As you can tell, it's like we have maybe like 6 shows out of 7 days. And so we want to make sure is that we give y'all content, we give y'all product. We got some other projects on the way as far as just like merch and shit like that. We got that coming. We're definitely working on that, trying to lock in and key on that one. We have the legacy over ego, which is one that's is growing now. Like that we just started and saying we launched it. So we got shit for y'all, and we definitely gonna be having but me and CEO, we ain't want y'all to figure about the core values that we hold and we want to push it. We want to make sure that y'all know, because all this collaborative stuff is like, yeah, it gets hectic sometimes, but we want to make sure that it's like, y'all know we good too. That makes sense. It's like, we want to make sure it's like we fulfill y'all demands as far as where the fuck these shows been at. We ain't forget about these shows. These shows still going. They still here. Definitely all that, But either way, with that being said, in the podcast Savage, this is 2011, the Nocturnal Gems.
This was a Rock Boys Network production.